Okay, so if you're somebody who feels that your reality is different from your your thoughts, way more different than the kind of world you live in, your thoughts happen to be a different tangent altogether, and the reality is a different situation altogether, then welcome to this video. I I don't really know how to sum this up, but let me tell you how things work when you feel that you don't belong in a certain situation, in a certain family, in a certain circumstance. For example, you're born in a family which is pretty normal, pretty decent Indian kind of family. Uh, their values are pretty simple. They make money, money, they save it for mandatory family businesses. For example, getting their children married or building their homes. They don't think beyond a certain limit, and that's okay. I think that's how the masses work, and that's how everyone works. But you, on the other hand, happen to have a different sort of ideology altogether. Since the very beginning of your consciousness, you never felt like a part of the family or like a part of this whole ecosystem. Felt out of place. I I feel that this is a very important feeling. If you have that kind of feeling, then your soul is probably just here for its purpose and not to satisfy its duties and diligence towards the family you are born into. Let me make it a little more simpler. For example, you are born to a set of parents, and they are great parents. They love you, and they have taken a good care of you. Anything that they could do is what they have done for you. But you still do not feel super strongly about the family, and you do not feel super strongly about your parents. Like, people are batshit crazy about their parents. They don't have ambitions. Their ambition is to live with their parents and to have a life around that, which is good for, I mean, if you're someone like that, it's good for you. But if you're someone who just cannot relate to this feeling, you feel that you always had this very strong individual sense of identity, and you could never find your place in your family, not because they were uh, particularly bad towards you, or probably they didn't do enough, but it just never happened. You just felt like you were never a part of this. I think your soul has a different purpose altogether. Your soul needs to go beyond the situation, the place that you're born into. How do you know your purpose? That's something that even I don't know. That's something that I have not been able to figure out. But I feel your purpose comes to you. It comes to you when the time's right, and it's like one of those games where you just play your levels, you keep playing them, random levels, but they take you to the final destination, which happens to be your sole purpose. I don't know if I'm making sense, but my idea about purpose of life and why it's not introduced to you in the very beginning of life is that, I mean, when we grow up, we also develop a lot of identities. For example, you were a different person when you were a toddler. You had a different set of identity, different set of beliefs. You were a different person when you were in your, you were a kid in a school, probably in your fifth, sixth grade. You had a different set of ideologies. You had a different set of belief system. Then you turned into a teenager. You rebelled. You didn't rebel. For example, I didn't rebel, and then you had a different set of ideologies again. So there are these layers that keep forming and they keep breaking, which finally shapes your inner self, if you may, to understand and realize the actual purpose of your life. For example, again, that's another food for thought. For example, the purpose of your life, let's say, was to create art. and you're born in a family where there are doctors and engineers and all kind of fancy jobs, fancy profession people. And when you're young, when you're in your school, you're absolute genius. You score great marks, your parents are happy with you, life's great. And if someone tells you at that stage that you're going to be an artist and you're going to be a suffering artist, you would never believe them. You would hate knowing the fact that someone told you that this is your purpose, that will, rip you off of that joy that you were getting from scoring marks and getting good grades. Do you do you follow? I mean, the very joy in that moment would be stolen off you if you knew that this is not going to be your future. So I think that's why the purpose of life comes in layers, and a lot of people don't even get to know that. I mean, a lot of people might not even see the purpose and they leave this planet. They might come back again, but that's a different topic altogether, the cycle and all that stuff, the cycle of life and the cycle of soul and all that stuff. But about the purpose, if you're someone who's craving, who's trying too hard to find your purpose, trying too hard to find your identity, and trying too hard to find your the reason of your existence on this planet, I think you should not rush it. You should let it be. And if you're blessed to be the black sheep, the person who does not belong to the very home they were born into, you will find your purpose. You will definitely find your purpose, because that's the only thing that got you here. Because had it been your parents, had it been your spouse, had it been your partner, a lot of people don't like company. A lot of people don't like, they don't have a lot of friends. They don't enjoy being around people. I don't like that. I mean, I don't think I'm one of those people who would spend every weekend going out, meeting my friends, and I don't know. I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? I would rather spend my time with myself, think about things, create art, and whatnot. But yeah, that said, your purpose will find you, and being an outcast, being someone who's not a part of their own family, being someone who never had that feeling of belonging. So I had this feeling of not belonging to my home uh, since a very, very young age. Probably when I was in middle school, I felt that there was something off. I don't belong here. I don't have to be here. I should not be here. And I still have that feeling. And now my absolute obligations towards my family are my pure responsibilities. I don't have to do it, but I do it while I can. I'm trying to just return the favor. But I am super keen, super focused on my own existence, my own purpose, my own love for things, my own ambitions, the dreams that I see when I close my eyes, when I listen to certain kind of music, and it just takes me to a place which feels like my safe space. That's what my priority is. And I don't feel like giving it up, or I don't feel like buying anything else to be my reality other than what I feel should be my reality. I don't know, I just played with the words here. So if that's you, if you have been trying too hard to find yourself a space, to find yourself a community, so to say, I would say don't look for it too hard. It will find you if it has to, and if not, this is your solo mission. Like, this is my solo mission, and it's good to be on solo missions, because that's the absolute reality. So yeah, don't give up on your shit, man. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your uh, dreams, absolute dreams. Actually, that's what they are. Don't give up on your the the visuals that you see when you close your eyes, or the kind of nostalgia you feel when you listen to a song, the nostalgia which never even happened in your life. Then don't give up on that. Chase it till the last breath, because that's what life is about. Just don't sit and wish that it finds you. No, actually, sit and wish it finds you and work towards it, of course. That's it. Cheers.